Yes. Yes, I
All
know.
right. What you were doing was pulling back and fixating while you did all the other movements.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no, when you pull back, when the other movements have cycled through half of the cycle, they're starting to move the other direction. The lower leg moves the opposite direction. So it's a forward and back movement. Once forward, once back with each cycle. That will make a big difference how much gets done.
So let's see if I can do this. And when I have front leg forward, or sorry, top side leg forward, the top side arm goes back, right?
No, because your top side leg isn't your focus in this movement. It's the underside leg that you're moving forward and backward. And
Okay.
by pulling back the underside, let's call it foot for convenience, you bring the top side hip forward, and then by making a forward movement, kind of almost like kicking with the underside foot, you cause the top hip to move backward. So it's a constant alternation linked in with the Glomphasaurus head movement.
Let's see, when I'm in this position,
Yeah.
I feel when my elbow is back and my bottom side leg is back, I
Yeah.
feel a lot of the stiffness that I feel when walking and twisting. So I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking this might get to it.
Yeah, indeed might. It's a complex movement. It's got forward and back leg and rotation at the hips, and forward and back in the shoulder and head.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's an integrated movement, and you're likely to encounter your trouble zones in it. Just work with it, see what you can get done with it. Just when you kick the leg forward, your belly tightens, your head comes forward, and then you tuck your chin, and as you draw back, you bring the leg back and your back arches. And then as you Glomphasaurus forward with your head, you kick the leg forward, the hip goes back, top hip goes backward, and as the lower leg comes backward, the top hip comes forward, and the back arches. See, it's a complex movement. The simpler version is just the head movement and the leg movement causing the others. The next advance is to make the top side shoulder part of the head movement.
Like this?
Yeah, and then you shrug the shoulder into the neck as your chin comes away, and as your chin comes forward, the shoulder comes forward. Looks like your reverse direction there. Okay. So it's a roundular movement of the top side shoulder. The axis goes from one shoulder to the other shoulder, and the one shoulder is revolving around it. Again, it's just the next layer of complexity, and it gets more done. But I suggest that you get proficient with just the two-part movement before you bring the shoulder into play.
Is that the more or less the proper the proper form?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it is.
uh,
Now, having done one side, did you take time to sense what changed?
I'm in the process of doing that.
Okay.
Feels like one side of the ribs is moving at the back of the ribs. It does feel like that will target at least some of
Okay.
the twisting stiffness. At least I think so. I hope so. Process of
Feeling
life.
that place in yourself in this movement indicates a high probability that you can clean it up with this movement. Likely the key is to go slower with each repetition. Or better still, to slow down progressively through the movement.
Through the movement.
Yeah, not switching to slower between repetitions, but rather slowing down continuously as you keep doing repetitions.
Okay. What are we doing on time now?
12:45.
All right. I think it's best if I do it other side as well.
Okay.
Just a real quick.
Yeah. And remember, generally it's 5 repetitions.
So don't keep going.
No, you can get a ton done in 5 if you slow down continuously. Okay, help your top hip move forward when the underfoot comes back. Notice friction between those two actions. They should be lining up and helping each other, not in opposition.
Oh, here I feel some stuckness.
Okay, so retreat from it and reapproach in your next cycle. The mark of learning this is it gets easier and easier, less and less effort.
Alrighty.